Hello, today we are talking about the equation of a circle. This is our second to last lesson in the circles unit. So we're going to go over what the general equation is and then how to write it for different circles on the coordinate plane. Okay, so the first things first, I know we've gone over this before, but a circle is the set of all points that are equidistant from the center. So in a circle, if our center is here, for example, every single point on the circle is the same distance from here. So no matter where I would draw like a radius to in the circle, it would always be the same. Okay, so my general equation for a circle is this. Let's say I'm given the center, and for a circle, for our equation, the center is always h comma k, okay? So that's just your x and your y coordinate. I didn't make this up. It's not Hoban, Catherine, but hk, okay? And then our radius is going to be just r. Okay, so our general equation for the circle is the following. In parentheses, we're going to have x minus h. So whatever your x value is for the center, it's going to be x minus that squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. Okay, now one special case, if the center is 0, 0. So if the center of your circle is on the origin, okay? Then when you go to write your equation, x minus h, x minus 0 is just going to be x squared. And then y minus 0 is just going to be y squared. And then it's still going to be equal to the radius squared, okay? So it's not wrong if you have x minus 0, y minus 0, but this is just a shorter way to do it. So only if the center is 0, 0, you would have x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Every other time, if the center is a different coordinate point, you do need to plug it into our general equation here, okay? So this one right here is the one that we are going to use to write all of the rest of our equations here. Okay, so again, the only two things that you need to write this are the center and the radius. So anytime we go to write our equation, we need those two things before we want to plug it into that. Okay, so we're going to write the equation of this circle right here. If I look, the center of my circle is at the point -1, 1. Right here is -1, 1. Okay, and then the other thing that I need to know is my radius. So from the center, I just need to count out to the edge of the circle and see how far that is. So you can go right, left, up, down, whatever you want. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for my radius. Okay, so now I need to go ahead and plug it into my equation here. All right, so x minus -1 is going to turn into +1 squared plus y minus, my y value for the center is 1 squared equals the radius squared. Okay, now we want to take this just one step further. All of this is going to stay the same, x plus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals this. We need to go ahead and square. So it's just going to be equal to 25. Okay, so this, you need to actually square that number. You can skip this first step if you want and just start here, okay? So that would be the equation of this circle right here. Don't have to do anything else. I know it's a long equation, but that is what it's going to look like, okay? So let's look at a few other examples. So number 1 says that the center is 2, -3, and the radius is 6, all right? I've already got everything that I need here. 2, -3 is my h and my k when I go to plug it into the equation, and my radius is 6. So let's go ahead and plug everything in. It's going to be x minus 2 squared plus y minus -3 turns into y plus 3 squared equals 6 squared, which would be 36. Again, I'm just gonna skip that step and automatically square it. So this would be my equation of circle with a center of 2, -3, and a radius of 6. Okay, now in number 2, it says that the center is -3, 2, and it is tangent to the y-axis, okay? So we need to remember what this word tangent means, okay? So I'm just gonna draw a quick little sketch here. So let's say that my center is at that point, -3, 2, which would be right here. If it's tangent to the y-axis, that means that it only touches my y-axis at one point, okay? So that means that it's only gonna touch the y-axis at this point right here. And then the rest of my circle would be something like that, okay? Now, if I look at that, okay, from the center to that y-axis, it is 1, 2, 3 units away. So for this, I'm gonna use that my radius is 3. Now, there's an easy way to remember if it's tangent to the y-axis, that means that your radius is going to be the x value. Okay, now it is -3 in my center, but the distance from the center to the axis is always a positive number. So -3, 3, our distance is going to be positive, all right? So center, we already have, is my h and my k. If it's tangent to the y-axis, that means I'm going to use the x value for my radius. So now all we have to do is just plug in to my general equation of a circle. So x minus -3, or x plus 3 squared, plus y minus 2 squared equals 3 squared is going to give me 9. Right? And again, that would be my final answer. There's nothing else for me to simplify or anything like that. All right, number 3 says that the center is -4, 6, and my radius is the square root of 12. Don't let that scare you. We're just still going to plug it in to our general equation and simplify what we can, okay? So I'm gonna have x plus 4 squared. Again, it's minus in my general formula, so minus -4 gives me that plus 4, plus y minus -6, so y plus 6 squared equals the square root of 12 squared. Okay, now we've talked about this basically since the beginning of this semester. The square root and the squared are going to end up canceling each other out. So I'm still going to have the same first part, x plus 4 squared plus y plus 6 squared equals the square root of 12 squared. Again, they cancel, or you can plug it in your calculator, but the square root of 12 squared is just going to be 12. Okay, so that would be my simplified equation of the circle, center -4, -6, radius square root 12. Okay, number 4 says that the center is 2, 7, and it's tangent to the x-axis. Okay, so just like the one above it, if it's tangent to the y-axis, we're going to use the x value for the radius. If it's tangent to the x-axis, we're going to use, you guessed it, the y value for the radius. Okay, so here's my center. My radius I'm going to use as 7 because that's the y value of the center. All right, so plug everything in. X minus 2 squared plus y minus 7 squared equals radius squared 7 squared equals 49. Okay, and my last example here says to draw the circle with the equation x minus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared equals 9. Okay, so now we're going to work backwards. We're given the equation and we're going to draw that circle on our notes. Okay, so we need two things in order to graph the circle. We need the center and we need the radius. Okay, so the center, remember, is the h and the k, and it is x minus h, y minus k. So in the equation we have here, whatever this number is right here, so if it's -3, then that means that my x value is going to be a +3. It's basically the opposite of what it is in your parentheses. Okay, so x -3 means that my x value of the center is +3, and then y plus 2 means the y value of my center is a -2. Again, opposite of what it is in the parentheses. Okay, and then in my equation, it is the radius squared. So if this is equal to 9, I need to figure out what is the square root of 9, which is going to be 3. Okay, so now all I have to do is plot my center. So 3, -2 is going to be this point right here. All right, and then if my radius is 3, the easiest way to do this, I'm going to go up 3. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go down 3, I'm going to go right 3, and I'm going to go left 3, okay? So don't have to worry about going diagonal 3 because once I have these 4 points, I can just connect these into a circle. Some kind of great circle I have going on there, but you can imagine. As long as you have those 4 points that have a radius of 3, then you can connect them all the way around. Okay, so there you have it, general equation of a circle. The only 2 things you need are the center and the radius. From there, you can plug in to that formula and you will have your equation of a circle. All right, your practice is going to be Google Forms, and y'all know, email me if you have any questions.